Hello and welcome to the Sailing Cheat Sheet. This guide aims to be the only resource you need to be ready for, compete, and maybe even win one of the multiple races coming with Old School's largest update ever. There will be chapters and resources in the description, so if you're looking for a specific answer, feel free to jump around. So this right here is the cheat sheet, our own personal chart of anything and everything we could possibly see, do, or find while sailing. So let me show you how to open and use the cheat sheet. Link in description if you just want to download it. This is an XCF file, which is a project file for GIMP, which is a free image editing software similar to Photoshop. This file is quite large. It's about 12,000 by 8,000 pixels and around 16 gigabytes in size, so not for the faint of heart. It is just a little out of date. The map itself is from the sailing beta, so some things are slightly outdated. Like this Barracuda map isn't on any other sailing maps, so we'll see. It might not exist, but we'll get back to that. Alright, so let's just get to how to open and run this image or this file. So you need to download GIMP, and then you need to download this XCF file, which will both be in the description. Once you do that, you just go open GIMP, go here, top left, open the image, and find the download location, right? Once you have this open and running, all the tools to edit and manipulate the image are in the top left. So there's like this tool moves stuff around, select, crop, scale, draw, erase, text, right? It's all here. And then in the bottom right, all of these are your layers, and we'll go through them all so you know how to use this. Alright, so the bottom layer is just the old school world map. I did overlay the minigame icons over the Barracuda Trials locations, so they'll be easier to find, but like you already knew where they were. Alright, so layer number 1 is the legend, and this just shows you what color each dot will represent, what the level requirement is, and if they're quest locked. The next layer is the dock layer, or the dock levels layer, and this will tell you what level each dock is. So one dock, level 1 dock's over here, 10, 20, 25, 30, and then as you branch out it starts to get higher and higher levels. Some 70 down here, right? Okay. The next layer is the crewmates layer. Right now there's only a handful of crewmates, about 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now there's only 9 crewmates. But we'll get more. Yeah, fuck it. Next layer is the shipwrights layer, which actually is a pretty big one. Not every dock, or not every port rather, has a shipwright, and shipwrights are important. Shipwrights are the people that will teleport your boat to you. So if you want to go from Port Sarim, right, all the way to Alderan, oh, it's off the, oops, let's use the sketch layer. Alright, if you wanted to go from Port Sarim all the way to Alderan, you could take your boat and, you know, just sail it all the way over there, right? And that would probably take like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, something like that. What you could do instead, since there's a shipwright in Alderan, leave your boat wherever it's at. It doesn't matter. You teleport to Alderan, talk to the shipmaster there, and they'll teleport your boat right there. So if you're here, you know, just teleport, boom, done. The shipwrights will also recover your boat if you sink it, which, honestly, I don't plan on repairing my boat. If it goes down, it goes down, and I'm just gonna pay to dredge it up. Whatever. That's how it goes sometimes. The next layer is the salvage station layers, which, just like shipwrights, very important. Early game, you're not going to be doing a lot of salvaging. In fact, personally, I plan on dropping them all. But maybe salvaging is a good way to get things like cotton, some of the new lead bar, lead ore, something like that. Might be a good way to get it, so it's a good thing to know. The next layer, probably a little overboard, but I mean, when you already make the rest of this map, you might as well put a grid over it. These are the coordinates of the RuneScape world. You can tell because 00 is at the observatory. Fun fact. Anyways, is this going to be helpful? No, probably not. Probably, definitely not. But there is like a 1 in a million chance, you know, you're gonna get a new clue or something. It's sailing, right? You're gonna tell me there's not gonna be a little latitude longitude going on? I don't know. Just in case, right? Just in case. So the next layers, all these numbered layers, these are all of the charting locations. So combine these with the guide layers, and you can look around and be like, oh look, there's a dive spot right there, right? Oh, there's a charting spot right there. There's a spyglass right here, right? Oh, there's a weather spot right here, but if I'm 30, you know, and the weather's 57 requirement, I'm gonna have to come back later, right? So, again, use everything together. Ooh, this one's big too. The new resources layer. Once you hit like 50 or so, you're gonna need this layer. You're gonna have to find lead. You're gonna have to find camphor trees, ironwood trees. I don't think we're gonna need rosewood, but rosewood's on here just in case. Other things like strike worms, right? Strike worms are on this island. Maybe rosewood's over here, right? There's lead on this island, ironwood on this island. Up here, oh look, there's nickel on this island. I think it's, what is this, level 60? I think this is the earliest you can get nickel. 67. So, remember that. If you don't have nickel by 67, you're going there, Deep Fin Point. Oh yep, all the way up here, Frost Dragons on Grimstone, remember that. The Cannonball Forge, big one, big one. People love this. People are going to love that. These numbered salve layers, these are basically wherever I could find the level appropriate salvage spots. So we're going to turn on the salvage stations so we know where our nearest salvage stations are, even though I'm just going to drop all my salvage. And so we see level 15 salvage right there. So we find the salvage spot, we find the nearest salvage station, which is just right there. So if we were to train level 15 salvages, we'd just come here, collect it, salvage, back, forth, right? Simple enough. Probably not the most important layer, but like, personally, I think it's the best layer. This is my assumption layer. So, how to break it down. Any of the black lines, we're not going there. You either don't have a reason to go there, or you just can't go there, right? And then we look at the colors now. So we can't go to the black, the shaded black areas. The green area, that's going to be our starting area. We're going to stay here. Probably 1 to 45, maybe 50, right? Do your 1 to 30 in this top half up here. And then once you finish Tempor Tantrum, right, you're going to do that 35 salvaging, tick manipulating. You're going to do that level 35 salvaging, right? And once you get to like 40, 45, you're going to want to, you know, branch out, expand a little bit, and keep going, right? After you finish the green area, you're going to want to do this right here, and probably this as well, right? This is all the level 40 to 50 stuff. There's some lower level stuff, right? Like, where is it? Right, Port Piscarius, level 15, level 38, blah blah blah. There's gonna be a bunch of stuff to do out here. It's all gonna be mid game, early to mid game sailing, and it'll probably be pretty good for 45 to 60 level range. Okay, so after we clear off this uncolored section, gets about 65, 70. We are going to unlock the next area, which will be yellow. So around Prif and down at the south here. This is when you're going to unlock ironwood trees. I believe they're on this island. And Prif, which has rosewood trees right here. Something good, I bet, on that island. I don't know what, but it's probably something good. And then finally, our goal at the very north end, once we hit about 80-ish, we'll have access to the Northern Ocean up here. And that'll unlock things like Frost Dragons, the Cannonball Forge, really, really good port tasks, stuff like that. This is where you want to be, right? This is where all the good stuff is. Alright, so let's get back to these leveling layers. So, I already went over 1 to 12, and it'll be pretty straightforward, right? You're going to go here, back, hit all of these, blah, blah, blah. 13 to 22. Again, you're going to be doing a lot more port tasks. You're going to be mixing Musa Point in here and there. The one important thing to note here is that to get to 13, you need to be on a raft to cross this gap. This gap is 1 tile wide. You can't fit the level 2 boat through this gap. Okay? And then you will finish this layer up here at Catherby. Try and finish Catherby, or try and get to Catherby at 22. This is where the duck quest will be. So if you can get here at 22, that is ideal. After doing the duck quest, you'll unlock the current duck, and you'll probably be like 23, 24 sailing. From here, you are going to work your way back. Alright, so for this next layer, after you get to Catherby and you do the duck quest, you'll be like 23, 24, right? And so you'll come out and you'll hit this, and you'll come this way, and you'll come back around, and you'll do this, and you'll come back, and maybe you'll drop off a port task, and you'll do this, and you'll come back around, another port task maybe, another one of ducts, hit this one, and then at this point, if you're not 25, 30, just keep doing more port tasks. There's like a salvaging spot here. If you want to do that instead, that's fine. You know, whatever works for you. Alright. Just, you know, keep charting, keep exploring. Whatever you can do to get experience, you need to get to 30 so you can start the Barracuda trial. So the Barracuda trials, each one is going to be a little bit different. The first one, Temper Tantrum, is pretty straightforward. There is a guy up here and another boat down here. And this guy wants you to collect crates that are dotted around the water and some smuggled rum from the guy in this boat down here. So at the first tier difficulty, you're only going to have to do one loop, right? To go around and collect everything, get the one bottle of rum, and finish. On the second tier, you're going to have to do it again, right? In the third tier, it's going to be 3 laps total. Okay? And then I put a full video of all 3 clears on my channel. The link will be in the description if you want to visualize it and see it. The best advice I can give you is to try and, well, the best advice is to just know it off the bat. Just know what you're doing. But what worked for me specifically is making laps that were of constant width. So I'd start it and I'd go short, and then I'd go wide, and then I'd go wide, and then I'd go short, and then I'd go medium, and I'd go medium, right? And maybe I started wide first, right, and then went short or something, right? Maybe it doesn't. As long as you are consistent with it, and you hit this, where all the crates are, you should be fine. All right. At this point, we will have graduated past the first half of that green area, right? And now, from 30 to 50, we're going to be moving into this section, okay? So, we'll just finish Temper Tantrum. Maybe we get like a boat upgrade or something. It just depends on what level you're at. We're going to come back. And we're going to get more levels, we're going to do more activities. There's like a level 35 salvage right here, which is really big. I think I'm going to be doing that. And just, come back around here, hit this, hit that, hit this, go down here, boom, 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 boom. Okay, yep, just keep going, everything you can. And if you can't hit it yet, just mark it off on your copy of the map and come back to it later, right? Because maybe these are set for a wider range of levels. Maybe, I don't know, we don't know yet. And then so once we get to the point where there's probably a lot more stuff in this area, right? But it's too far out into the ocean, so we can't see any of it. And that's just how it's gonna be, You're gonna have to take some chances on these oceans out here. It's gonna be hard to tell. But so we're gonna stay in this area, right? This area. Do tasks. Do salvaging, chart everything you see, and get to level 45 so you can come down here and do this quest. This level 45 sailing quest, help out the turtle people. It's probably going to be really nice and really important. That's a big island, right? It's a pretty big place. Alright, and then once you finally do that, hopefully you're about level 50. And we can move on to the next area, right? All of this. And, just wing it, man. Wing it. Take some risks. Well, okay, maybe don't wing it. Have a good plan. Okay, so once we get past 50, there's just a lot of big questions. Like, you can probably chart a lot of this stuff around Zaya. You can probably even chart some of this Relica stuff, right? Especially the stuff in the lower level waters. You could probably do some of that. And that'll probably be pretty good. But personally, if I'm not doing any of these Barracuda trials, I'm probably just gonna be like 3-tick salvaging. I have a hard time seeing other things being better than that. Alright, so let's talk about the sailing controls. It's pretty similar to traditional movement. I suggest watching beta gameplay if you weren't able to experience Again, I suggest watching beta gameplay if you weren't able to experience it firsthand. The link will be in the description. sailing's movement is pretty consistent with traditional old school movement in the sense that it's still on a grid. So some movement techniques will transfer over while others won't. For instance, you can't Wooks walk a ship. It just doesn't work. They're too large and they have a turning radius. However, some other techniques will cross over. I don't expect combat to be a good sailing training method, at least not at the start. Maybe in the 50, 60, 70 range it can start to get pretty good. We'll have to see. But I really should show you this at least. Basically, any sailing enemy that doesn't have a ranged or magic attack can be safely fought via a slightly simpler butterfly method I'm calling Octofly. Octopus, butterfly, octofly. You get it, right? Okay, cool. So all you gotta do is just sail circles around them like you're Mario, and they're a large floating eyeball. Your cannons will auto-attack them. Well, you click them once and your cannons will stay in combat, and then you can move your boat around them in a large circle. I don't think combat is going to be that good of a training method, but it would be foolish to not expect this to be helpful in some sense. Alright, let's move on to talking about the boats. On release, there will be 3 different sizes of boats. The small 1x3 raft you will get from the introductory quest, a medium-sized 2x5 skiff that you unlock at level 15, and a large 3x7 sloop that is unlocked at 50. Now, the raft is fine, even being required for that one specific charting activity, but the skiff will be a large upgrade. It is a lot more facility slots, 7 compared to the raft's 1, and can have crew members that will automate those facilities for you. At 50, it's a little less obvious how much of an upgrade the sloop will be. It's going to take more upgrades, more resources to upgrade, will probably cost more to recover if it's sunk, and will be slightly more obnoxious to steer and turn due to its larger size. It may be necessary. I'm expecting it to be required for the level 78 Eternal Brazier upgrade that lets you into the northern icy waters of the ocean. The skiff is a lot larger than the sloop, coming in at 21 tiles compared to the sloop's 10 tile area. It will let you have more crew members, and even the rest of your GIMP group on the boat, with an additional 2 facility slots. If the sloop ends up having 2 salvaging hooks or 2 cannons, I think it does become a lot more valuable and should probably jump up higher in your priority list. If there isn't 2 salvaging hooks or 2 cannons on the same side, you can probably hold off it as long as necessary. The sloop also has an additional 2 facility slots, coming in with 9 total. I don't expect these 2 additional facilities to be that useful. One will probably be the Brazier at level 78, and I expect another miscellaneous facility near the back of the ship. I highly doubt they're going to give us cannons on opposite sides of the ship, as realistically this would just be visual. Most of the time in combat you would only be using 1 cannon at a time. But maybe I'm overthinking things. Maybe because you have them up on both sides you're able to stay in combat longer. The reason I don't think that you will have 2 cannons or 2 salvaging hooks on the same side of one boat is that it could really end up looking off balance in a sense, you know? If you have like 2 large salvaging hooks hanging off one side of the boat and nothing else on the other side, it kind of feels like maybe it would tip over. But, you know, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, another big reason I don't think we're going to have 2 salvaging hooks is I don't think Jagex wants to prioritize or incentivize 1.5 tick skilling methods in a world first race, I just don't think that's what they want to portray and project outward, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is what everyone wants to see for 50 hours. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, right? The biggest issue with that really is that if sailing was to have like a 1.5 tick training method, right, it would just invalidate all of that exploration and charting and Barracuda trials if you could just hop from salvage to salvage constantly 1.5 ticking. It wouldn't be an exploration skill really, and that's what I see sailing as more than anything else. Alright, finally we have the last but maybe the most important part of this guide, and this is all of the upgrades you can do to your ship. I'm just going to go over them all real quick and give my quick thoughts on all of them. So starting off with the core boat parts, it looks like there's a lot of stuff here, but there's only 4 things. All right, there's a hull, there's a mast and sails, there's a keel, and there's a helm, and there's like 7 or 8 tiers of these. Okay, so as you get to the next tier, upgrade. Oh, I guess there's flags and trims too, but these are just cosmetic, probably. Yeah, but just keep building and upgrading, building and upgrading. Irons, I expect that you can stop at 87, maybe even 72, right? Like, maybe the stats difference between rune and adamant isn't that large. Maybe it doesn't materially affect any of your XP rates. If you're an iron and like you just want to race to be the first Iron Man to 99 sailing, you're probably just gonna skip the dragon tier, because getting all these dragon materials right, the dragon sheets, the dragon nails, the rosewood logs might take a while to cut. Like it's gonna be a bit of a pain. So don't plan on this, and you know, if you get lucky, cool, go ahead. Alright, and then the last thing that we're going to talk about are all the facilities. And look, if you have the items for it and you don't mind that it's going to take 5 seconds out of your time to build, go ahead, go crazy, build whatever you want. I'm just going to do a lightning round and fire through all of these. So, cargo hold skip, bronze hook skip, range skip, oak cargo hold skip, iron hook, and steel hook. You're going to get one of these depending on how the charting goes and how your port tasks go. Maybe you go straight to salvaging earlier, maybe you go to salvaging a little later. Bronze cannon skip, teak cargo hold, yeah, whatever. A keg of beer. This is 110% necessary. If you hit 99 and you don't have a keg of beer to kick off the 99 party, you're disowned. Immediately disowned. Iron cannon, skip. Anchor, actually probably really good. Car guys, 0 to 100 is really good. 100 to 0 is also really good. It could also be very important to some Barracuda trials. You're probably going to have to build that. Inoculation station. What? Okay, so maybe it's for like the swampy waters south of Castle Wars where the second Barracuda trial is. I mean, I guess the levels line up, right? Salvaging station. This lets you have a salvaging station on your boat so you don't have to go to the salvaging station docks. So maybe you want that, maybe you don't. Mithril salvaging hook, build it. Mahogany cargo hold, probably build it. Steel cannon, this is our first cannon. We already have steel cannonballs. Build that. Wind catcher, this is really awesome. It's going to give you an opportunity to capture wind and release it later for speed boosts that you can control in time, right? So these actions are going to give you an additional source of XP drops. So this is going to improve your XP rates while traveling around, and it's going to improve the efficiency with which you move around. It's going to be good for Barracuda trials because you can time your bursts of speed. Teleport focus. This is probably going to let you teleport your boat around, so you want to build this pretty early, right? Rope trawling net, we're going to skip. That's probably a sailing, fishing, hybrid training method. It's probably good to make money, but we're racing. Chum station, this is probably going to improve trawling rates. We're skipping. Mithril cannon, yeah, you can build it. Adamant salvaging hook, build immediately. Camphor cargo hold, if you have the logs, sure. Linen trawling net, skip. Advanced chum station, skip. Adamant cannon, yeah, yep, keep upgrading the cannon. Fathom stone, skip. Crystal extractor, I assume you get this from the tier 3 Barracuda trial. No clue what it does, must be pretty good. Rune salvaging hook, make immediately. Greater teleport focus, I assume this lets you teleport to your boat, which would let you have a movable teleport you can place in like 30 different locations. This is going to be very good for, this is just going to be amazing. Alright, you want this. You really, really want this. The Eternal Brazier, this is going to let you into the frozen, icy waters in the north. You want this a lot. This is where, you know, frost dragons are, and that's where the cannonball forge is. Gale catcher, it's an improved wind catcher. Build this as soon as possible. Hemp trawling net, skip. Ironwood cargo hold, build it when you have the spare logs. Rune cannon, build it when you can. Like, ASAP is good, very good. Chum spreader, skip. Cotton trawling net, skip. Dragon salvaging hook, I think this is the first dragon upgrade you want to build. It can help you get more dragon resources possibly. I'm going with the level 87 salvaging is going to give dragon nails. That's my prediction. Rosewood cargo hold, yeah, if you got the logs, build it. That sounds awesome. Fathom pearl, skip. Dragon cannon, again, come back to it later.